Do you have any questions?
It is generally thought that a creator is recognized in Christianity but not in Buddhism. What are your thoughts on this?
This is by no means a simple question. In terms of Christianity, everything that has life was created by God. This is, of course, not a mistake. In Buddhism, it is explained, in the doctrine of the 12 causes and effects, that everything in this world was produced through lightlessness. And on the other hand, it is also explained that behind this, everything has divinity, the nature of Buddha. I think that these two explanations, taken together, are really a marvelous way to describe the truth. True Buddhism does not come alive solely from the doctrine of the 12 causes and effects and the teaching that everything was born from lightlessness. Likewise, the greatness of Sakyamuni does not arise solely from the teaching that divinity exists in everything. Christianity, like Buddhism, teaches that God dwells within, and it also teaches that one has to reap the seeds that one has sown, the same principle as cause and effect, taught in Buddhism. However, the Christian explanation might be interpreted to mean that the God of the universe, itself, created the world of shapes and forms directly. Whereas Buddhism explains that this world of human beings, including the subconscious world, was created through karma. The Christian explanation seems simpler and easier to understand, and it allows people to follow God more faithfully and subordinately. Moreover, in Christianity there is Jesus, who intermediates between God and human beings. Through Jesus, one's sin is pardoned by God and one is guided to heaven. This coincides with the teaching of the Shinko sect of Buddhism in Japan that if one devotedly and wholeheartedly recites the sacred name of Amitabha, placing all one's trust in Amitabha, who exists in the Western paradise, one will surely be reborn in paradise after one's death in this world. The difference between the two is simply that the former refers to Jesus Christ while the latter refers to Amitabha. In Christianity, human beings are thought of as creations of the universal God. This has been taken to mean that even our physical embodiments were created directly by the universal God. This way of thinking, taken alone, results in human beings becoming separate from and subordinate to God, unfree existences who are wholly controlled by a force outside themselves. While, on the one hand, the Bible sets forth this concept of a creator, on the other hand it also teaches of the God who exists within. And it frequently teaches that since God is love, a person who has done actions of love and has been faithful to truth God can enter the realm of God. In Buddhism, it is taught that one's karma constructs one's destiny, and that to overcome karma one needs to empty one's mind and awaken to the divinity that exists within. On this point, the teachings of Christianity and Buddhism do not differ except that they are presented in reverse order, as if the front of one were the back of the other, and vice versa. One principal difference between Christianity and Buddhism is that in Buddhism, the Keigon Sutral and others often depict the solemnity, beauty, and splendor of the real world and the world of the divine self. And Buddhism describes various spiritual beings, and the spiritual world, using the word God. In this respect, Buddhism explains the divine self-God and the human world from more sides. In Christianity, the understanding is that human beings were created by God, and their physical existence is that of a created object. Yet at the same time, God, the Creator, solemnly lives within the created physical human being. Therefore, unless they follow the voice of the inner God, human beings cannot rise above their suffering. The wisdom and power of the physical human being who forgets God will only produce more and more sin karma, and that is why Jesus shouldered the sins of humanity and was crucified. Therefore, it is taught that people should entrust themselves to the mercy of Jesus Christ, forget the sins of the past, do works of love, and live with a faithful heart. In summary, if you understand their contents well, the teaching of the Creator is the same as the teaching of karma, so each person may think about it in the way that suits him or her best. As my thoughts are described in detail in the main text of this book, please read them together with the Bible or the Buddhist sutras.